I'm Jeff Zielinski, and this is In The Volvo.
Hey, Sauce.
What's up, man?
I'm in the Volvo.
Oh, you're in the Volvo?
Literally, just walked in and we're filming. It's going. It's go time, baby.
Hi, Sauce.
Well, I'll let you go. Don't talk about me too much.
What time are you trying to meet up to film?
I don't know. I can't get a hold of Tony or Ogie. Both of them told me they were trying to book today.
Well,
And,
we were all out pretty late last night, so
yeah, so me and you are on the road, and we're just going to go wake them up or something.
okay. Well, hit me up. I'll see where I'm at. Maybe I'll see where we're at, and I'll just get dropped off with you if we're closer.
Work.
All right, peace. Sorry, Z.
Oh, it's all good. FaceTimes, phone calls, it all happens.
You know when you see something online and then you're in it? It's like it's like surreal kind of. I see the Volvo online. I feel like now I'm in the Volvo with the man himself.
You got enough leg room?
I'm perfect.
Good,
honestly.
good.
Great night last night. Great morning. I enjoy drinking, but I don't like getting hungover.
I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah, it's like the worst thing. A hangover just ruins everything. So I've gotten to the in my years of drinking, I've learned I can drink to a certain point, and then I have water, and then I avoid the hangover altogether.
Good for you. I think that's everyone's goal. Was to be better
And
at
celery juice too will change the game.
celery juice.
Yeah, good for your skin. And it's good for hangovers.
Random story. I used to work at a natural food store back when I was growing up in New Jersey, and I worked at the juicer, and I would go home at night smelling like celery.
I used to work at a juicer.
It was like
Remember?
actually,
True Nature.
yeah.
We used to come in all the time and get juices there.
It's funny because my last solid memory of you being in Long Beach was when you worked at True Nature, which for those of you who don't know, it's like this natural juice spot. Co-blocks my house. But how long did you work there for? Like a week?
No, I worked there longer than a week. I worked there for like 3 monts.
That long?
I
really?
was the manager at one point.
Really?
That guy has turnover rate super heavy. He'll hire someone,
really does.
fire them, fire him. But I haven't been back there because he gave me an iPhone one time when I broke my iPhone. It was like an iPhone 4, you know what I mean? It's worth like $30. He gave it to me, and then I went to Mexico when I got that job, and everything changed for me. And I took his iPhone with me, and I broke it when I was there. And he always texts me about this iPhone, and I was like, yeah, man, I don't have it anymore. So I'm afraid to go back in there.
I feel like that's a pretty focal point in like your story the last couple of years. You're kind of going down the same path that a lot of younger bike riders who move out here are doing, like, working odd jobs, riding as much as you can, enjoying the weather, so on. And all of a sudden, this opportunity in Mexico happens, and I feel that changed everything for you. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
That was like, it's like, I always wanted to be a pro rider, it was the dream. I think everyone that comes out to Cali wants to be a pro rider that, comes here with that kind of, that passion for what we do. But I saw early on, hanging out with, when 22 was doing all of this stuff with the come up and hanging out with that crew, like you see that it's kind of like, it's like, I don't know, I think you work really hard to do this thing, but there's really no end goal unless you're one of the best in the world, unless you're like Garrett or Dennis, that can win contests. So at some point I realized, like, there's no way that I'm going to make enough money to get by, just on BMX solely. And I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I've worked, so many jobs and I hate it. I hate working for somebody. So, yeah, Tom V got me that agent. I think everyone's agent. She was everyone's agent for the longest time. She had Tom V. One of the other, what's that one dude that does, like, double backflip, tail whips? I forget the name. He's huge in the BMX, in the park world. But he has her. And I remember going to this casting for Timberland, and I remember showing up, I'm like, Tom, what should I wear? And he's like, just wear something cool. He's like, you're probably not going to get the job. There's like 100 people there. And I show up, and, Tom gets it, and they shoo him away, because it's all fucked up the way that they'll just shoo you away. They don't say no. They'll just be like, go.
Really?
Yeah, maybe not that one, but some of the ones I've been to most recently, they'll just shoo you. But yeah, so I walk in, and then they're like, yeah, we like you, and then it was between me and another guy on the short list, which is like in the modeling world, the short list is like you're up for the option.
Right.
And at the time I didn't have a passport, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna go shoot in Mexico City tomorrow if you get this. So I texted her at like 11 o'clock at night and said, do I have the job? And she goes, yes. and it was $25,000 for this job. And I'm like freaking the fuck out, you know?
Yeah,
I've never in my
lifetime
life,
opportunity.
I have never seen more than $1,000 in my bank account, 25 grand. So, yeah. So the next morning, I stood in line at the passport place, you know, over here in was it close to Beverly Hills. Just stood there, got there first thing in the morning, and stood in line all day for 8 hours. And got my passport by the end of the day, and the next day I flew out to Mexico City and did that. I made a YouTube video called "The Commercial That Changed My Life" because, you know, it was a snowball effect. I met Deb Watson, which is a stylist who's huge. She got me jobs at Abercrombie and Fitch, and she told me, she's like, listen, you need to move to New York. I'm going to help you get an agent. And, you know, I can really put a lot of my success, I wouldn't say success, a lot of my opportunities that I've had on the stylist that I met. It really helped me, you know, pave the way for me. So yeah, Timberland job really opened up the doors, because then I was like, fuck it, I used the money, which I only got like 12 grand, by the way. I didn't get 25.
What, after taxes?
Yeah,
right.
There was some taxes, and then I literally ran up the bill in Mexico City at the hotel because I had no money. Like I went to they gave me a per diem.
Yeah.
So I show up to Mexico City with literally like $30 to my name and then $200 per diem, and I'm there for a week.
Still, that's like.
So I was broke.
Okay.
And then I just started running up the tab at the for room service.
You were just doing bottle service all the time, or
I did
what?
bottle service. I mean, I think I ran up like $2,000 worth because like I met some girls out there. I'm not like that kind of guy, but they were there and we were hanging out, so I brought them back to the room, and then, you know, you have that little refrigerator.
Yeah, that's where they get you.
That's dangerous. You're like, oh yeah, fuck, I'll take a Tecate, I'll take a Corona, and then these Coronas are $20, $30 a piece. These hotels, maybe not that much.
You were running it as if you're thinking like, this is my only chance to do something like this. Yeah. Make the most of it.
You know me back in that day, though. You know how I was. I didn't care. Like, any opportunity would come, I was just like, yeah, well, here we go. Let's just run up the bill. And I left without checking out. So my agent had to, like, go through this whole thing where she's like, okay, Austin, well, they're charging us a lot of money. We have to take it out of your back end. I'm like, okay.
Okay, so... All right, so you do that job, and then obviously, and then right after that, you made the jump to New York?
Yeah, well, right after that, I came back, and it takes like 2 months to get paid. So my buddy Kevin, who I can't thank him enough, I hope he watches this. He's literally the dude that's like been there for me and he's given me money when I needed money. And I was like, hey man, like I'm getting paid this big amount of money. Can I have like $1,000 and I'll pay you, I'll pay you $1,200 when I get the money, as like a loan. So he gave me money, and like I waited it out until I got paid, and then as soon as I got paid, I bought my ticket to Simple Session, went to Estonia, and after Estonia, I went back to New York with Billy and Panza. And I went to New York City and stayed in, you know who Nick Jones is?
Yeah,
remember him?
photographer.
Old photographer. He doesn't do much of BMX anymore, but he had a house, an apartment, and I knew he was moving out, so I stayed in his back room for like 2 months, and then he moved out, and then I somehow got his room, and that was my first place in New York.
Okay.
It's like a box.
Yeah, I heard you literally were living in a closet.
Yeah, but it was tight.
I mean, I know, like Ryan Scher used to live in a closet under a staircase.
Yeah, we
I think people have done it.
Well, I think we live in this. We always want more, and then I remember being in New York in that little box, and I didn't have any obligations. I didn't really know anybody, but I was the happiest I've ever been with barely anything. And then I worked my way up in the New York scene, and then I get my own apartment. I still think back to this little box I had. I was like, dude, this is way tighter. I had way more fun with the box.
Literally way tighter.
Yeah. Well, the box was $500 a month, and my one bedroom is $1,500 a month.
Right.
I mean, you get internet, you talk about all these bills and real life shit. It's like you spend $1,800 a month to live in a room. Like I have a one bedroom.
So you moved to New York, and then was it a struggle to get into it seemed like
the fashion world?
Yeah, or was it kind of doors opening for you? Sound like your stylist friend.
Well, the stylist friend got me a couple jobs. So like the way the fashion world works, and I still don't really know. It's all about who you know and how you perceived. I think. So like I think I met my agent, who at the time was Tom Brady's agent. He's like a huge agent in New York City. Like having him was like I'd go to places like, oh, you're with Mari. I'm like, yeah, I'm with Mari. I'm like, oh my God, he's Tom Brady's agent. And I was with him for a long time, and I got Abercrombie and Fitch, and then once I got Abercrombie and Fitch, like a lot of jobs just started coming, and then IMG wanted to pick me up, which is like the biggest modeling agency in the world. So I went to them, and then it's kind of just been a never-ending cycle now. Once you're with them, like, you work. It's like being an actor. You know?
Right.
When you get jobs no matter what. It takes a little bit, but yeah, man, it's just been, I've been modeling.
Yeah, you're
BMX/model.
You're literally a male model.
I know, it's so weird. It's just funny because you know me from like so long ago. Man.
Yeah, I remember when you were bouncing around between scenes, like you're in Arizona. It's just a really crazy story how it seemed like it wasn't like
I was
some people would probably try for a really long time to do that.
I preach this all the time, man. I read this book called The Alchemist, and I said it in a vlog the other day. It's just about like you find your path, right? If you think about it, you believe, you know, and things are gonna happen for you. You keep it positive. You know, it sounds so cliche, but dude, even when I was at the bottom of the barrel, sleeping on Adam 22's like floor in his house, like I was like, dude, I'm gonna make it somehow, and I still haven't made it, I don't think, but it's just like, dude, I just try to keep a positive attitude and just keep going at it, and eventually shit works out, you know. Obviously,
I'm sure the jobs when you get them pay well, but are there like dry periods where you're like,
yes, and you know, it's like my whole goal now for the rest of my life is to never work for somebody else. I think we all actually work for someone, but I don't want to have to answer to anybody. But there is times where I'm a little stressed out because my bank account, you won't see any commas in it. And I'm terrified because I'm traveling the world, and then, you know, and
maybe you got to stop using that fridge in the hotel room though.
Yeah. I'm going through a lot of changes in my life. You know, I had a relationship for 2 years. I had a dog, and that's kind of like taken away, and like I'm kind of starting over right now, and it's like refreshing.
You were in like a serious relationship. Your ex-girlfriend was a model as well, right?
Yeah, and I think that was like, you know, this is a learning lesson too. It matured me heavy. You know, remember Greg Molinterno?
Yeah, another photographer from Arizona.
From Arizona. He told me, he's like, Austin, like I watched you grow from like being this super immature kid who would drop in on roofs and break your kneecap, and then to being this kid who's like, you know, turning into an adult. And it's cool to have my friends kind of like help me, you know, see this. But
right.
Yeah, man, I was changing my life for somebody else, and I wasn't being me anymore.
Okay.
So, you know, I moved in with her, and I left my apartment, and then 4 months later, I find out she's cheating on me, and like, so I just did. She kicked me out, actually. January 1st, she sent me a text message. She said, "Consider this your eviction notice." Like,
whoa.
It was so weird. Like, you know, you have someone for 2 years that you literally would do anything for. Text you and be like, yeah, consider this your eviction notice.
And
like,
she was cheating on you, and she evicted you?
Okay, so let's not, maybe she hung out with her ex-boyfriend 3 times. One time I was in Milan, you know. This is like confessions. Taps and Dad confessions right now in the Volvo. No, yeah, so she hung out with her ex-boyfriend all the time, and like, that's weird to me, I think. So, well, yeah, I consider that like either emotionally cheating or, you know, physically cheating, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so...
But it's a blessing. It's honestly a blessing. I can't be more stoked on whoever she was hanging out with, because if it wasn't for this, I'd still be in New York. I wouldn't be out here in the Volvo, like, doing things that I want to do, because I'd be still living my life for somebody else. And in the wrong way, you know, not in a good way.
Obviously, I know you definitely book gigs and you travel a lot for the model stuff. How are you riding into all this?
You know, it's...
I'll be honest, I don't watch
no.
or anything, so there might be a lot of obvious things that you do that I don't know about. But.
No, I ride. The thing is, I think that in the BMX world and skate world too, I think that we are so like obligated to have to post all the time, like new tricks that we're doing, all this shit. It's like, you know, I love riding for what it is, and I ride all the time. Sometimes I won't post, or I won't have a videographer there to film me, but I'll put it in the vlog and shit. But I travel for work, and I bring my bike with me. If I have an opportunity to ride, I will. But this is also my living, and I have to work to make money to get by in this life. So if I can't ride, then I'm not going to be stressed out because I can't ride. And you know, I think that kind of look at that rail.
Yeah, Gasper did the overcrank.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's such a small rail too.
Yeah, and it's got the knobs on it and stuff. He had just learned how to do them.
He's like, just do it on this. But yeah, I just, you know, I try to ride as much as I can, and luckily being out in California right now, we're riding every day. But you know, I'm not like I used to be. Like, I have to ride, I have to get clips, or we go to a spot, I'm like, I need this banger right now, like Z's here, all that shit, you know.
Is it obviously well, with any kind of job you have that doesn't involve bike riding as your 9 to 5, getting hurt can be an issue. I mean,
dude,
I got hurt and I couldn't get out and shoot photos for a month. You know, I was logging around on one foot. But for you, obviously,
I mean, look at this. You see the scar on my face?
yeah, it's that's like what
It does come into play.
are they all aware of what you do?
Yeah.
And do they ever like say like, hey, don't?
Well, my agents are pretty understanding of what I do.
Okay.
But to be honest, like the Sunday guys came to New York one day, and I showed them around, and we were filming. Like I was like, let's do this gap, Jacob. So me and Jacob Cable, we're gonna go at this gap, and I went first, and I jumped, and I landed like this 12-foot gap, and I punched myself in the face. And it was the first job I booked with IMG, right when I signed with them. So I booked the job next day, and the next thing I know, I have 8 stitches in my eye.
Oh.
And I show up to work, and they're like, oh well, it's okay. Just Photoshop it out.
They can do a lot.
But it does play on my mind. Like I pick and choose my battles now. Like, you know, like I said, you know me for a while. You know, old me would have just went like shuck something down a set, no problem. But now I got to be a little bit more mindful because I have other things to you know, to worry about.
And then so I also, it seemed like around the same time when you moved to New York is when you started doing the vlogs and the YouTube channel.
That was crazy.
What was your motivation to even start doing that?
You know, I was hanging out with Adam 22 a lot back then. He introduced me to this guy named Casey Neistat, who's one of the biggest YouTubers who did the daily vlogs. And I was watching these videos this dude was doing. I was like, man, this guy's not even interesting. He's just filming him getting groceries and shit. I'm like, you know, crazy shit happens to me all the time. Let me document it. And, you know, I've always wanted to be a videographer. I've always wanted to learn how to use a camera. So I bought a T3i, Canon T3i, and I told Morgan and Forrest, like, hey man, I'm gonna film everything, and it's gonna work out. Like everything's gonna work out. Film it all. I remember Morgan Long being like, dude, what? Like, and I was filming myself doing push-ups in a room one day, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I told you, I'm filming everything. And you know, fast forward 2 years later, man, the channel blew up, and yeah, I just wanted to learn how to use a camera, man. I still am. Like, I'm slowly progressing as a filmmaker, which I consider myself an amateur filmmaker. And that's what my goal is to be able to have a backup plan when BMX and modeling stop, and I can be a videographer. But the vlogs people take it the wrong way in the vlog game. You know, they think that you film yourself, that you're this narcissistic asshole who wants to be like famous or something. And
well, you are becoming famous.
It's weird. Yeah, I told my friends too when I was mad young. I was like, yo, I want to be famous one day, and I think subconsciously I still do. You know, I still want to have that I want people to know me, but it's not why I did it. It's not why I picked up a vlog.
Why do you want people to know you? Why do you feel like that's like
I think
important? Or
I don't think I want people to know me. I just want to be respected because I come from like this. Dude, my teachers, everyone back in high school, even my family never believed in anything I could do, and like. Just because I have a little bit more energy than a lot of the other kids doesn't mean I have no ambition and like I have dreams that I can't achieve. And everyone, dude, was just like, no, you're not. Even when I moved out here, I went to Arizona, like people just didn't believe in me, but I believed in me. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna be in magazines. I'm gonna have people see my face, and then they're gonna be like, here, prove to you that I can do this shit. So maybe it's me trying to prove it to people that I'm not some fucking schmuck. And it might not be fame, it could be my work that I do, it could be videos that I do, but I don't want people to look at me and be like, that guy just fell off, and then what became of him, you know? He's working back at a juice bar in Long Beach. I don't want that, you know? I want to be, I don't know, man. I just want to be respected. Like you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
I used to look at you as like a celebrity, like, oh, Jeff Z. Like, going out with Jeff.
Big fish in a small pond, my friend. No, but for real, I feel respect is one of those things that, you know, I think you just have to, it's earned by,
and
it's the things you put out there and what you do.
And to this day, in the terms of BMX, like, what gets me stoked is when we get to go to Hastings, we get to go to all these contests, and I get to see the best riders in the world. Even Dan Lacey, like, I mean, our homies. It's like, it's cool to have like, I do the vlogs, and in the BMX world, if people watching this don't understand, the BMX world does not like vlogs, the respect to BMX riders. But for me to be able to go to these contests and be able to hang out with Garrett and Dennis and, like, you know, be on, like, you know, like, they're my homies, I consider them friends. That's a big deal to me. To be able to have the respect of riders, even being a vlogger in this game. It's a big deal.
How do you feel actually? That I obviously I do feel like vlogs, at least more so from our generation of riders, a lot. They do kind of get a lot of hate.
Well, I think even me in the past, the vlogs that I used to do, it was the same sort of like formula that everyone was using. There was no creativity to it, I think. And there's still a lot of BMX vloggers that do the same thing, like the Walmart bikes, the fucking, you know, and it just seemed like they was fishing for views. It was no longer for...
That's definitely fishing for views.
Yeah, it was
the Walmart bike stuff.
it was no longer like a passion for riding and filmmaking. For me, it's like throughout the whole year, even when I was like, you know, copying a formula for the vlogs, but it was still like some sort of like originality to it, I think. But I think the reason why these people get a lot of saltiness towards it is that it is all the same thing, and it's all these riders that are putting in work over the years, and they don't get as much views on a video than a fucking vlog with filling a bike tube up with water. I see where they're coming from. That, you know, just trying to change it up, change up the vlogs, you know, so it's not some like views thing. You know?
So you're trying to put a little more, would you say, like worthwhile content? I mean, it seems like you said trying to take a more approach of like actual now, filmmaker, or
like I don't get the views like all these big YouTubers do, and I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I used to be embarrassed if like you would ask me to see a vlog right now on your phone, I would not show it to you. But now I'm like, yeah, watch it. It's sick. Like this is a piece of work. It took me, you know, almost a day to edit this.
What were you embarrassed about before?
I don't want to be like, you know, what's up world.
Right. Okay.
It's a fake attitude, you know. I'm not a fake person, and a lot of the time you're perceived on YouTube as this is a TV show, and I'm not a TV personality yet.
If I heard "What's up world," click.
What's up internet?
But that's just me. I'm obviously a different demographic, you know.
I think that people saw success on YouTube and they're like, okay, I'm going to implement this into what I need to do, and it's going to work. And I think right now, and I did this interview with Fred. I think what's happening is like YouTube is slowly pushing out these people that are doing the same content, and like creativity is going to push through, you know, more than so than like the clout chasers, you know.
It seemed like, obviously, at one point in time, people were really cashing in off of YouTube, and then they changed the policies or the algorithm or whatever. Well, you caught like a tail end of that, right? Yeah.
Well, I went from making like every month it'd be anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 I was making.
Wow. Okay.
And it was a lot. I was like, this is fucking crazy. And once the apocalypse happened, I was just making $3,000 a month. That was with like 4 videos a week. And now I'm like barely putting out 2 a week, so, you know, do the math. You know, but luckily, like I said, I did the modeling. There's other things that supplement my income. And I'm lucky that I'm not this YouTuber that's forced to like put out videos every week, because that's what makes YouTubers unhappy. I don't think a lot of, you know, people that don't do YouTube don't realize that the mental health game when it comes to YouTube, you know, everyone wants to be a YouTuber, but they don't realize, man, it'll fuck your brain up. Like, I was so worried about like what people think. Like, you read comments, you have all these people that have like an opinion about you that don't know you. It can ruin you for a second. And it did.
Were there any comments that stick out to you that were like just really harsh, that are still in the back of your head?
No, I get comments all the time. Like, I have people like, there's like comments about my teeth being yellow. Like, no, there's no comments that stick out. What bothers me the most is people that I know personally that run meme accounts or shit like that have like opinions about me that doesn't like, dude, it's like, I know you personally. Like, why do you have to like be like this, like, I don't know, this asshole?
Yeah, comments can definitely be, they're pretty much the poison of the internet.
No one used to, like, if you watch a Garrett Reynolds part back in the day, you couldn't see Deadline and have a comment about it, like, that truck driver was fucking dumb. You know, so everyone has an opinion now behind keyboards.
It does seem like, no matter what, people just feel like the urge, you have to say something.
You can't just keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
What's the digital age we're in now? And then what gets me the most now is that I meet people, I see people's comments in the industry, you know, pro riders that I know that'll say stuff online. I'll see the comments. I'll ignore it. They'll say some really harsh shit. But when you see them face to face, they'll dap up with you. They'll smile to your face. And I had to be the bigger man and look at him like, oh yeah, nice to see you again, man. Like, it's just, the internet just gives people a voice that they can't use. They don't have anything to back it up. They would never say that in real life, you know?
When you were living in New York, you rode with, sorry, my brain is,
I'm enjoying it, honestly.
with Billy Perry a lot, and Billy's on the same kind of grind you are.
Yeah.
Was it ever, I mean, I'm sure it was plenty of days where you guys are both out filming the same situation.
Yes.
Was it ever like sword fighting, or what's that dynamic like?
You know, that shit really gets to me too. Is like, you know, because Billy does YouTube, Panda does YouTube now. Our whole crew was doing YouTube, and there was definitely times where we button heads. I remember one time we went on a trip to Barcelona, and Colin Varianac started doing vlogs.
Yeah.
Billy was doing vlogs, and Panda was doing vlogs.
Oh man!
And they were all together, and like I was losing my mind because like everyone would race to get their tripod out and sit up by the train, and I'm like, do you see what there's no creativity here? Like, you're literally like a sheep following this whole path. And I'm not talking. I love Billy and Panda to death, but
were you doing the same thing as them too, or you?
No, I stopped. I filmed them doing it because it was funny. That's hard to do too, and it can drive a friendship apart. Like, I think with Pans and me, it drove us apart for a bit because it seems kind of superficial anymore. It's not like you're hanging out to ride; you're hanging out to make content. Like, we hung out a lot, and before Panda started doing YouTube, and Billy, because Billy would do more structured videos with like a sort of a subject, you know, GoPro, and I would just kind of document the behind the scenes. And then, you know, it just kind of snowballed into everyone doing YouTube now, and it's like it makes it hard to hang out when everyone's filming, and I can't blame them. I used to do the same thing.
How often now do you get to go out and just do traditional BMX riding or filming?
Well, now that we have a new TM and I'm back in California, like every day almost, I can go out and ride, and I can still make YouTube because there's content when you're in a van. You're in the 15. Yeah. You're with riders. There's content. I'm not even going out looking for content. I'm just documenting what it's like to be in a van, and like, you know, which is cool. Like, that's
that's kind of what we do with our e-logs. We're more fly on the wall style.
Yeah, it's like, and like, I'm lucky enough. Well, I'm not lucky enough. I'm stoked that I've worked my ass off to be able to be a good like a documentarian. Documentarian. Like, I can.
Doesn't roll off the tongue easily.
Doesn't sound like I'm saying it right. But I can see something, like, it's tight because I can see I call it a scene of my friends hanging out, and I can capture it the best way I think possible, and it makes it seem like someone's there, you know. But in New York, though, no, I don't really get to go out and film and ride because there's no filmers out there. It's me, and the scene in New York isn't like in California. You know what I mean? Like, you're not hanging out with the animal dudes. I don't go out with Tyrone.
Tyrone works 6 days a week.
Dude, I know, but he's such a legend.
He's a man.
I was working on, before I moved out, I wanted to do a documentary on him and his shop, because the shop is like legendary.
Yeah, it's been there over a decade. Tyrone's definitely a mainstay in the New York scene. Shout out to Tyrone.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of like younger cats know about it. I mean, they don't know about Tyrone. Yeah. To answer the question, though, like it's not too often I get to do, you know, to go out and just ride my bike for like it used to be, because we didn't have those people to film us.
Do you miss that part? Do you feel like the direction everything is going in now?
Well, I think I've worked my way up and fit now, and I can come to LA and do what I want to do and ride, and like still be able to do. So I'm slowly getting back into that world because I was away from it for a long time in New York. So, fun fact: I used to sell solar panels here.
Here in Compton?
Here, no, this area. I remember this place because I went in here and peed. So the way it would work. So I used to do solar panel sales.
That's an organic farm. Just kidding.
Really? No. Well, I used to do solar panel sales, and the way you look at it is you would want to find a roof like that's pointed towards the sun, and like, if they have a really high electricity bill, you would go and read their meter. And be like, oh, I'm just a meter reader. Secretly, you're a solar panel guy.
You just go up to the houses?
Yeah, well, it was kind of a shady business.
It sounds kind of shady.
Okay, Z, let's not fucking throw me under the bus. Right?
Well, it wasn't your business. You were just.
I was a sheep.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. Well, Shady, I have a vest on. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just out here reading meters with Con Edison. Like, you're with Con Edison? I'm like, yeah.
Well, the best is supposed to be the get a jail free card, right?
Yeah, and it worked. And I'm good at talking, I think, so like I can get myself out of situations.
Yeah, it amazes me. Well, yesterday when we were out, you went up to a cop and asked him for a light.
Why is that such a big deal?
I don't know. It's just he's obviously like hiding, waiting for someone to run a stop sign. So he's working. Obviously, he's sitting there, but he went up and asked me if he had a lighter. I don't know. I just feel like I go out of my way to avoid cops my entire life. I'm obviously not doing anything wrong, but
oh shit! Keep that in.
Oh yeah,
keep that one in.
You gotta know what it's like.
Yeah. Think it's all fun and games here in the Volvo? No.
Down here, these fucking potholes, dude. Oh my God. There's a lot of potholes, man. It rained a lot.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We're in Compton.
They don't fix the roads here in Compton.
And it just rained, so it really loosens up everything. But this road is bad, especially when your car is 30 years old.
A lot of potholes.
There's a lot of potholes. They're not done yet. Let's go to smoother ground.
Yeah.
So let's talk about fit. You had you got a complete bike and everything. The one with like the
fit's so tight.
The battery theme.
Yeah, the first colorway with the Wi-Fi. Well, it was AA because my name is Austin Augie.
Okay,
so
there's that too. Okay.
And dude, I fucking named the frame after my ex-girlfriend. I called it the Copper Goddess because I used to call her a goddess. So we called it the Copper Goddess.
Did she have like copper color hair too?
No, it was just like I was super smitten when I first met her, so I was like, oh fuck it, let's call it the Copper Goddess. And yeah, man, Moeller and Melissa over at Fit, I couldn't be more stoked to be a part of such a legendary team. And it took a while, it took a long time. I think you have to earn their trust. There's some things that go on that and I think earning someone's trust is a big part of BMX. Like, I could have left, I could have rode for other companies that wanted me, and I was like, no, I'm going to sit through this and be with someone that's been there since day one. And, I would never leave Fit. Like, my first sponsor, they picked me up after the Street Series, which, let me add, I rode for Fit before I vlogged. So they didn't put me on the team because I vlogged. It's a huge thing in the comments section, is that I'm a YouTube rider. That I'm like John Hicks with Stranger. Dylan actually got me on after Street Series.
You won Street Series, didn't you?
In Chicago.
Yeah, you crooked the King Trail.
I stole my stepdad's truck to go to that contest. My stepdad was letting me use his truck to go to work and back. And he's like, Austin, you can use it for work, but don't take it anywhere outside the states or outside the city. I wrote on this paper 30 times or so, like, I will win. I was like super obsessed with like I just read the book The Alchemist and all this stuff. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it believe it and put it in the air. And that Friday, Maloof left to go to Chicago because his parents are from there, and I drove up there. And I remember the craziest traffic of my whole life was on this trip from Indiana to Chicago. It was so bad at one point, people were driving on the sides of like the shoulder and just going. So I did it too. And when that happened, I got a flat tire on the truck. So I had to fix that in the middle of this traffic. And showed up there Friday night. The contest was Saturday morning, and then really crazy that morning, Maloof wakes me up. We're staying at his brother's place in downtown Chicago. He wakes me up and he goes, Glenn Sailors died that day. He was on his way to Street Series. And it kind of hit home because Glenn was like he's from Indiana, he's from Kokomo, 45 minutes from where I'm from. And like I used to watch his videos, and I'd see him at Major Taylor Skate Park. So he's like, Glenn died. And I still to this day believe that if Glenn was there, he would have won Street Series.
Yeah, he probably would have.
He would have won.
No offense, but
no, he would. He was a fucking killer.
Yeah, he really was.
And I wasn't close to him. I didn't cry or nothing. I was like, man, this is pretty heavy set. News to hear before you have to go ride a contest. And I remember BK did a speech. Lacey did a speech there at the park. We all hit our pegs on the side for him. But
Glenn Sailors passed away last night. Absolute savage on a bike, but the nicest guy in the world, the most genuine guy in the world. It kind of dawned on me, like, man, what a better way to celebrate Glenn and what a badass he was.
Oh yeah.
I just went out and rode that day, and I didn't think I was gonna win. I wanted to win, but yeah, Lacey called my name at the bottom of that bridge. It's like overwhelming, dude. It's like crazy, surreal feeling.
Like, it's always nice to have like someone that's like come down from kind of local to do it. It's Austin, wherever Austin's at. Congratulations, boss, man. Hell yeah, this is good. Hell yeah, this is up, boss. Enjoy that shit, man. That's what's up.
So you go on an S&N trip and you end up on fit.
Well, I just didn't really. It wasn't a vibe that I fit. Like, I was more of like a fit rider, Dylan said. So I quit my job and went to Mexico with Dylan, the whole S&M team, Hoder, and everybody. Like, I remember the next day I quit my job with $300 in my account and went to Mexico without a passport. Yeah, I remember sitting out like I was so hungry, man. We were sitting out sponsor me tapes to sit one the BSD, and like this when me and Grant's relationship started. I was like dead set on like just getting sponsored, like making it happen no matter what.
But do you ever think it might, or it could have at certain times, turn people off?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you don't know me, I can be a lot, I think, to a lot of people. Like, they don't know if it's like a fake attitude, or maybe it's like he's trying to prove something or be someone who's not. It's like, nah, it's pretty much me. I'm just enthusiastic, and I try to be stoked all the time. But back in the day, I don't think people were like, they didn't know how to take me. They didn't know like, who is this kid? What is he doing? Like,
I can see that.
He's jumping around. He's crazy. It's like, you know, it makes
climbing
sense.
up on roofs everywhere.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's sick that I haven't changed. I've gotten better at being like more mature when it comes to, you know, when you're around people that are like, you know, doing something, it's like, you know, have that filter. But I think people have realized, and I hope, that that's just who I am. Like, there's no changing it. I'm like, I'm down to have fun. I'm down to just like, you know, be nice to people and not be a fucking dick, and take it or leave it. That's who I am. But dude, remember back in the AZ days when you guys would go out and I was so hungry to go out with you, and like, you would go out with Drew Hostleton a lot.
Yeah, and I remember somebody in the crew saying like there would be like everyone's having like a chill session, everyone just riding like a manual pad, for instance, and you would spot something on a roof, and right away like climbing up on his roof and going to do something wild, and everyone's like, man, we were just having this chill session, and then Austin had to go and get on his fucking roof, but it was like that all the time. Like, you didn't have,
there was no shut off.
They were, yeah, and they weren't talking shit. They were kind of just saying like, yeah, sometimes it's just a little hard to handle.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think I didn't mature for a long time. I think I was just young in the brain, you know.
And I think that's a common thing for young kids to want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of riders go through that. And like I said, they weren't like talking shit. They were just kind of saying.
But no, I think.
And I saw it firsthand. We went out. Like,
we went out with Trust, that one roof, the fucking crazy one. Remember
that weird metal thing.
And it drops in like this, and I remember looking at Greg, and he goes, "Austin, just don't do it right now."
Yeah, I remember.
I remember that, and I'm like, well, Z's here, man. It's like, Jaws did this drop, and I want to do this. And he's like, just don't do it right now, Austin. Like, Drew's freaking out. Like, just come on. I'm like, all right. If it wasn't for people telling me what I need to change in a good way, you know, I would still be the same person I was in the past. And I think it's a lot of problem with some riders, with people in general. They can't take criticism of themselves. They don't want to be wrong.
Well, it seems like a lot of, or at least more so lately, a lot of your BMX travels are synced up with like jobs you get. Is that how you've been running it lately?
But dude, it's fucking tight, man. I get to be somewhere. Like, I got to LA the other day. I was like, I'm in LA for 2 days, and I got to book the job in Virginia. Then I booked a job in New York City. It's like I get here and I'm out. Like, I'm gone. And you know, I used to tell myself, I was like, I'm gonna travel the world when I get older. And like, dude, I'm fucking doing it. Like, I get to wake up in the morning and not know, if I check my email, that I might have to go to Costa Rica. Or I might have to
has that happened?
Yeah, man, I've done them a lot. Not Costa Rica, but I was up for a job. Get this shit. Up for a $50,000 job. I was on the short list.
Okay.
I was the only guy they were going to choose, and it was with Gigi Hadid, who's one of the biggest models in the world. Her and her sister Bella, which
I have heard of Gigi.
I did a shoot with Bella in New York in the past, which was probably one of the pinnacles of my career, this past shoot. But a $50,000 job in Turks and Isles, and it was with photographers by the name of Inez and Vindu. It's a wife and husband kind of duo, and they do a lot of Saint Laurent, really big campaigns. I was gonna get $50,000, but I didn't get it. I don't know what stemmed that conversation, but yeah, I didn't get that job. But imagine
No, I
Can you
can't.
imagine making 50 grand from one job? I was like, I'm gonna go to Madagascar. I'm gonna hang out with lemurs. That was like my whole thing.
How long would these jobs? Would that be a one day or like a whole campaign, or like a week of shooting?
That
or
was
like...
for a perfume or a cologne line. So
Okay.
it'd been like shoots for 2 days for photo and then 3 days of video.
Okay.
And yeah, I think this kind of stemmed off the question about traveling and riding.
Right.
But
Okay. Random questions. Do you know, like, do women get paid more than men in the industry?
oh yeah, my
Okay.
ex-girlfriend was making a lot more money than I was. But I don't know where I stand at in the modeling world. Like, I don't know if I'm like a top model. I don't think I am. But I'm doing top model jobs, which is
Okay.
tight. And
Do you know guys are making more money than you?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's
My-
talked about, like, you know.
my good buddy Rocky, who he booked a job for a company, and it's 5 month contract. So if you're like you have a different look to you and you're tall, like I'm not tall, I don't do runway shows. But he does runway, so we got casted for a 5-month contract, paid to live in Milan.
Wow. Okay.
He has to do 2 lookbooks, and then do the spring and winter shows. 100 grand,
Wow.
5 months.
Wow. That's
Imagine, like, it's like life-changing money for people, you know what I
Great. Oh
mean?
yeah.
But
Well, at least you have something to aspire to. Just gotta get a little taller.
I put some stuff in my shoes when I show up to casting. Not to get off subject, but it's just crazy to think, man, like where I've come back from the past and like how I've grown, and like I think when you can look at yourself and be like, dude, I've grown as an individual, I've grown as in careers, and like I've matured, and to be able to see that process, it just puts you in a different space, man. You know, it's like I have confidence in myself now. I have confidence in like what I do and what I say. You know, it's like it changes everything. Like when you get confidence in yourself, like you don't give a fuck about the comments. You don't give a fuck about what people say, because you know that you know. I like to think I'm a good person. I like to think that, you know, I try to do things for people and not make people feel bad. And
Obviously, people see what you're doing with the modeling stuff and YouTube things. You feel like the fact that you're involved in those things, people take you less serious now, BMX, as a rider, possibly?
I would hope.
Or they look at you as like,
Yeah,
he's not a real rider.
Yeah, I think they look at me like that. But the thing is, like, I still go on trips, and if I want to do a banger, I'll do a banger. Like, I'm still a rider. If I do have that sort of outlook on me as a rider, then that's their own thinking, because I know for a fact when we go on trips for fit, I'm still going in, still doing bangers, still progressing as a rider.
So we never actually talked about how you got on fit.
After the S&M trip, I had to go back to Indiana. That's when I won the Street Series. And once I won the Street Series, Dylan was like, hey, we should put this guy on. And Melissa and Moeller were a little hesitant until they found out that I won Street Series. Like, okay, well, let's put this guy on. And then I just went to the building, built a bike, and that was it. Like, once I had the sponsor, man, that was like a kick in the ass. Like, fuck yes, like I did it. Now I got a signature frame in the works. I have signature bikes.
Do you have things on a new list of things you haven't achieved yet?
No, I did. I wanted the cover of Ride. That was one of my goals, but
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Well, it's not my fault.
I'm still getting print though.
I still want covers too,
Yeah.
but
It's tight that I got a photo with you. That was a goal of mine. The 180 through the tree was like still one of my favorite photos. I just want to. I want to put out a good pro part. That's all I want to do. I just want to, just keep riding my bike and having fun. There really isn't nothing I can't achieve anymore. So I want to travel. I want to film it for a DVD. There isn't really no like career goals. I just want to keep progressing as a rider, and it's crazy, man. I was talking about when I made a vlog the other day. I was kind of talking to myself, and I was just thinking, I was like, dude, I'm friends with everyone I used to look up to in the game. You know, I get to go to different countries and hang out with the favorite riders like Dogs Donachie and Joris and Dennis. And it's gonna be a good role model for people. I still want people to like, if people meet me in the streets, I want them to have a good memory of me when they've met me.
I feel part of your role as being a pro and being sponsored by a brand is, portraying an example. I mean, because you are representing the brand, and they are, they want you and your image to help them sell their products. So indirectly, that is part of your job now to be,
a good example. I think I think a lot of the newer riders too, they don't realize like once you're a sponsored rider, like that's your, you're representing something. I'm getting his shoe. I'm going to Super to get that guy's shoe. It's Jim Greco and fucking Joey Solinsky. Sorry, Z.
That's all right.
This is important. You guys are about to see fucking history be made right now in the streets of Compton.
Well, we're not in Compton now. We're in Wilmington.
So we just drove by Jim Selinsky and
Jim C.
Jim C. I'm like shook right now. Jim Greco's a goddamn legend. And Joey Cinco. He did the Jobs Never film, the one that Jim Greco just came out with.
So you gonna get out of the car and say hi to him or something?
I'm just gonna. Can we stop on the side?
Yeah.
Yo, is that Joey and Jimmy? You don't know me. I'm just a huge fan. So I love you guys' work. The Jobs Never film was amazing. Good to meet you. Dude, you're fucking killing it, man. Austin, we're BMX riders.
Oh, sick.
So, yeah, I know the homie from Supra, the guy who just in Zoomies. We're gonna get your shoe tomorrow, so. Great to meet you guys, man. Killed it. Your films are amazing, man. Take it easy. Just awkward.
It's all good.
I don't care. They're fucking legends. That was me fanning out, though, just so the world knows. Coffee's good for me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Don't drink 2 cups.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll tell you what, if you drink 2 cups of that, you're gonna be.
I drank a lot of coffee. Or I drank coffee at home before. Yeah, that thing's actually just got rideable. They had those things on it, and then someone took them off.
Some crazy looking.
Well, yeah, we should probably go look at some of those spots that we can get photos of now. See, I was kind of hurting trying to think of things to take you to because obviously it's a weekday.
You sent me some good stuff though. That list is good. I like that little that kicker over the piece. I don't want to foot plant it.
We should probably just go to the kicker now. We land in someone's driveway, and then later in the day,
Someone's probably there.
they'll probably come home. There might be a car there, so we should probably just go to that now.
Hot pocket. Ooh. Alright, here, Z.
You got it, buddy.
It's called spot etiquette.
Yep.
Just so you guys know, Z is out here working with an EOS 5D. It's old school.
EOS. Extra old school.